So 16 years ago, we left a little piece of memorabilia in West Bay on Percy Island. It's a sailing tradition. Sailors drop anchor in that spot and go ashore to the A-frame shack and leave a little ode to their boat behind. And somewhere, hopefully, after all this time, there should still be a piece of driftwood that's got Brilliant 2 carved into it. Anyway, it's been a while, so we're hoping to get back and see if it's still there. This is Brilliant 2, a Kelly Peterson 44 built in 1978. This is us, the Smallwoods. And this is the story of our long overdue boat refit. Wait, this is the story of a mid-refit sailing adventure. Welcome along for the ride. Well, it's 5:50 in the morning. Our bows are headed to the Percy Islands and we're motoring because there is no wind.
There's a little bit of breeze.
Slight angle as well, so probably enough to put the main up, hey?
Yeah, so we're doing 6 knots. If it means a little tiny bit more, then it's good.
Yeah. Boys up. Morning, Josh.
Right, we have a birthday on board this morning. It is Shazzy's birthday.
Hooray! Oh, to mum. To my super mum. Super kind, super lovely, super stylish. Super generous, super clever. Oh, best mum on the planet. Happy birthday. You're my loving mum. Love from Josh. Oh, that is a lovely card, Joshy. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, thank you. My wonderful wife. Happy birthday. You are my all, the love of my life, my whole world. Happy birthday, baby. I love you. Oh, thank you.
Guess what it is?
Oh, wow! GoPro Max. Is this one of those 360?
You want it to, yeah. It's got a lens in the front and on the back.
Oh, we're going to try this out. This is the first video on the new GoPro Max in 360 mode. I'm going for a walk up to the front to see what happens with this. This is all a whole new experience. going past. This is actually a big ship anchorage for the ports of Mecca and Hay Point. Dolphins! Dolphins off the bow!
Hello, Josie, come here. Oh! Whoa! You beautiful animals. Oh, look at them all. Hello. Hello. Those little tiny ones. There's pretty much no wind, but a little bit has just started up at a bit of an angle, so we're going to put the genoa out and see if we can increase our speed a little bit. We're still doing 6.4, which is what we've been doing all day, so put the Jenny up and see what happens. Birthday girl is on the winch today.
Where's the wind man? Oh, here it is.
There.
Right in front of me. Running into the sky with the winch handle. Oh, look at that island there.
Yeah,
It's like
beautiful.
coming out of the sky. It's one of those days where you don't quite know where the sea ends and the sky begins. View. See what it looks like from the bow. Final approach into West Bay on Middle Percy Island. So I've just dug out our old logbook from when we were last here, New Year's Eve. Okay.
Now you're here on your birthday.
Yeah. 16 years ago we did 65 miles. It took us 11 hours and 20 minutes. Today it took us 10 hours and 15 minutes. Our average speed all that time ago was 5.75 knots, and today our average speed was 6.1, so we've improved somewhat.
Yeah, but look at the wind. East, southeast.
This is what the log says. At last we get to leave Keswick Island. The winds were our get out of jail free card, the lightest they've been for days. As soon as we were out of the Egremont Channel, the swells were upon us and it was a pretty lumpy ride. We were able to make life more comfortable by closing down the Dodger on the windward side. The realisation that we have a flexible pilot house at our disposal has been a great help. Not having to listen to the howling wind or getting sprayed through the cockpit makes all the difference. The sky was completely overcast with very low clouds. We had patches of rain, some of which we missed while others got us. The wind picked up and we spent the day in the usual manner, just hanging on. For almost 12 hours we battled on, unable to cut the engine, as keeping our speed above 5 knots was important if we were to make landfall in daylight. We were fortunate that the forecast was correct and that the wind did have some east in it. It was enough to keep the main filled and have us slightly off it on our southeast course. At 5:30 p.m. we dropped the anchor just off Boat Harbour in West Bay on Middle Percy Island. It is still as beautiful as I remembered it to be, and Julian was quite impressed by the wide white sand beach with its palm trees and A-frame shack. We immediately launched the dinghy for a trip to shore in the last light. The sun was already disappearing into a bank of cloud above the horizon, so we knew we were in for an early dark. The sand was the sort that feels like velvet on your feet, smooth, not granular, and soft and powdery above the high tide line. The A-frame has been dubbed the Percy Hilton, and much more memorabilia now exists than I recall from 9.5 years ago. So I actually came here back in 1997. Messages in a bottle, some dissolved by the fumes of the alcohol. A little model boat constructed from a plastic water bottle painted black with cloth sails and dowel spars. Name plaques, poems, t-shirts, hats and chopping boards decorated the walls, ceiling, posts and surfaces. Sadly, next to the list of produce available for purchase from the homestead, such as dressed leg of goat or bread, was a notice from the lessees apologising that due to government regulations they can no longer offer meals or supplies. At first I couldn't see the ladder and then spotted it. Climbing up it was like going back in time. Suddenly I was 23 again. On the mezzanine level things are a little different. The hammock is now below and some rather unhygienic lumps of mattress foam line the wooden plank floor. Attacked by mozzies and sandflies, we made our way back to the dinghy and thence brilliant too. I put on a little black number for New Year's Eve, but anti-wrinkle night cream was pretty much all I could manage rather than makeup. I realise now how tired I was. 5 nights of broken sleep and 12 hours of battling the sea were taking their toll. The anchorage became truly rolling. We managed to stay awake until 11:20 before having to admit defeat. For the first time ever, I was asleep when the clock ticked over from 1 year to the next. Next day, the 1st of January 2007. It was a grumpy start to 2007. I was cross that we didn't see in the new year, irritated by the rolling and annoyed that we didn't drink our champagne. Julian somehow managed to put up with me and we both went ashore to install the Brilliant 2's contribution to the decor. Julian's carved driftwood was screwed to the balcony and I photographed the result. You could spend hours in the shack reading through all the comments and poems. Zen and the Art of Sailing was just the one that took my fancy. As usual, we couldn't spare the time. Some things don't change from 1 year to the next, and we had a 50-mile leg to windward ahead. So the first day of 2007 was pretty much like the last one of 2006, an all-day bash where we sat and hung on.
God.
There you go.
I'm going downstairs.
Going ashore. So we are going to go ashore and see if we can find that piece of driftwood.
Whilst drinking some beer.
And off we go.
There it is, West Bay. And there it is, the Percy Hilton. Soft squeaky sand, babe.
Yep. Let's go and have a beer. Celebrate your birthday. Listen to the sound.
Percy Island Yacht Club. I don't know if I remember it being called that before. I have to dig out all the old photos.
Yeah.
Well, from memory, ours was on the top level and it's facing out.
Well, we're on the top floor and it's not looking very promising so far. We're pretty sure we left it somewhere along here. I'm sure once I dig the photos out we'll be able to find exactly where we left it, but we're not seeing anything just yet, so we're going to start scouring through all the plaques and see what we can find.
There's some interesting stuff here. The Ovens Crew, Excelsior, Sagitta. We are No Tears, a 49-foot cat, a family of 6 from Adelaide, South Australia. We are currently circumnavigating around Australia in 2022. Oh, and it looks like they've got an Instagram at No Tears 49. Cool. Well done, guys.
It might have been reorganised.
Yeah. I'm not seeing anything on the outside here that looks like it.
Percy Hilton. That's brilliant, hey? Well, I think this means that we're probably going to have a bit of a mission, babe.
Yeah, because it's been moved.
Well,
Or
either
it's
to
gone.
find it or we're going to have to create
another
a
one.
new one.
Well, we haven't found our plaque, but I tell you what, this is such a cool place. Since we've been here, just for a few minutes even, it's just full of people coming in and swapping stories. We've just met someone who was involved in building this A-frame and hasn't been here since 1976, and he had all these incredible stories about the original owner, Andy Martin. There's actually a plaque to Andy right here that I'm standing next to, and when I first came here back in 1997, he was here on the island. In fact, he was on the island for a very long time, and it's only in more recent times that it seems to have changed hands a lot and there have been different caretakers. Anyway, it's just an incredible place. There's just so much history here and memories, and just, yeah, that whole spinning a yarn thing that sailors tend to do. And yeah, anyway, we still haven't found our plaque. We're going to carry on looking. It looks like things have been really moved around and tidied up over the years, so it could be anywhere. And look, if we can't find it, well, it's a good excuse to make another one. Well, you might have noticed we're coming to you now from a different place and time. It's the present, so the future from what we've just shared back in Portobello, but we just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you if you've made it this far, and thank you to everyone who's been following our refit journey. All the words of encouragement have been really great, especially when times have been tough. We hope you're enjoying this break from the refit as much as we did, and if you are, stay tuned because there's more sailing to come, and also there'll be more of the refit to share. We've been working hard at it again since we got back. So anyway,
Onwards and upwards.
cheers.